factor some polynomials using a technique called factoring by grouping. So although there's nothing that can be pulled out like a GCF from all four parts here, there's kind of a GCF on the first two and the second two if you look closely. In that first pair with the 12x cubed and the 2x squared, you could pull out a common 2x squared, which would of course leave you with a 6 and an x plus 1. And then on the second part here, there's a common minus, let's pull a minus and the number 5. And notice when you pull out the number 5, here you'd be left with, well, 6x. And here you'd be left with, since you pulled out the minus sign also, you'd be left with a positive 1. So now notice, if you look closely, that the 6x plus 1 binomial is actually a common factor to both of the things on the left and the right. So we can pull out that 6x plus 1 as its own factor. We can say, here's the 6x plus 1, and what was left from the first part? Well, that was a 2x squared. And what was left from the second part? Well, that's a minus 5. So that would be the complete factoring by grouping. So it still factors into this nice binomial product, but it had to do it through 4 different pieces. Let's try the one on the left, or on the one on the right together. 6v cubed minus 16v squared plus 21v minus 56. So a common factor to the first two would be, let's see, the number 2 and the variable v squared, and that would leave us with 3v minus 8. And then over here with the 21 and the 56, I guess I can pull out a common 7. And 7 out of 21 would leave you with 3, and 7 out of 56 would leave you with 8. Now notice that there's a 3v minus 8 that's common, so we can now pull that out, pull out the 3v minus 8, and see that we're left with a 2v squared plus a 7. And so that's the final answer to the factoring on the right. So why don't you take a shot at this on your own? Try 8v cubed minus 64v squared plus v minus 8. And assuming you gave it a good old try here, let's pull out the 8 and the v squared that you hopefully found was common. That's going to leave you with 1 copy of v and the number 8. And then this one's a little bit sneaky over here. We have a v minus 8 already. So as I get ready to write this up, I'm going to put a v minus 8, going to put some parentheses around that, and I'll even write in that extra 1. It's not necessary to write in that 1, but it'll make it much more clear, hopefully, when I pull out the common binomial v minus 8 and ask what's left over. Well, from the first part, 8v squared, separator symbol is a plus, and then by actually writing in that 1, it's much clearer that there's a number 1 left over in the right hand side. So the final answer here would be v minus 8 times 8v squared plus